iHeart Chiropractic, Episode 11.
I train 4 to 5 days a week.
Okay.
I do run stadium stairs. I do my core workout, which is the Flo Fusion routines. I do a lot of the ninja style training, jumping from, one apparatus to another. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And for me, it's about breaking the monotony, for starters. I think a lot of times people get bored with their routines because they're doing the same things over and over and over again. Yeah. So one of the things I try to encourage people to do is, one, find different things to do with your workouts, whether it's yoga or Pilates or
mixing it up.
And also have an accountability partner. When you do it on your own, it gets boring.
Yeah.
But when you have someone who can pick up that phone and call you and go, "Hey, Doc, are we on for today?" And Doc says, "No, not today." And then I say, "No, Doc, come on, let's do this." It's a lot easier when you have that person that you can rely on. So that's the big thing that I try to tell people.
Okay. Accountability.
You're listening to iHeart Chiropractic with Dr. Stephen Mills, the video and audio podcast series dedicated to serving and uplifting philosophically based, subluxation-based, drug-free chiropractic and the chiropractic lifestyle as a way of living that best supports our bodies by minimizing chemical, emotional, and physical trauma and supporting our body's innate capacity to thrive and flourish. Welcome to iHeart Chiropractic.
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of iHeart Chiropractic. I'm your host, Dr. Steve Mills, and this is a chiropractic wellness lifestyle episode. I am super excited about our interview today because we're going to be talking with Dr. Flora Hyacinth. Now, Dr. Hyacinth is not only a successful chiropractor currently practicing here in San Diego, California, but she's also a 3-time Olympian. And Dr. Hyacinth had a highly successful college career at Alabama in track and field, particularly long jump and triple jump events. And at one point in time held a world record in the triple jump, jumping 45 feet. At the time, no other woman had achieved that accomplishment. Now, she has since retired from Olympic level competition. However, during that time, she's gone on to practice chiropractic continuously for the last 14 years, 2003. To now where we are in 2017. And she also created Flo Fusion, which is a 12-level fitness conditioning original program that she's created. And each move combines yoga, Pilates, and resistance training. So she's made this incredible program. And she also created a video, submitted it, and was accepted to compete on season 8 of American Ninja Warrior. And she took season 9 off and is now training for season 10 of American Ninja Warrior at age 50. So how many of us at any age could compete and perform at that level like she's doing? So she is an authority on the subject, and that's what this episode of the Chiropractic Wellness Lifestyle is about movement. We're going to be talking about exercise, what she's doing, and not only what she did do at the college and Olympic levels to stay fit and at her peak performance level, but also now, after retirement at age 50, what she's doing to not only be on the top of her A game, but to still perform at elite levels. And things that we can do as practicing chiropractors in the trenches to up our game, make sure that we keep our limbs intact as we practice chiropractic and those sorts of things. So let's transition towards the interview portion of the talk today. I'd like to put out there right away a couple of bits of contact information. If anybody has any thoughts or questions for Dr. Hyacinth, she can be emailed at drhyacinth@hyacinthchiro.com. That's drhyacinth@hyacinthchiro.com. And we're going to have some show notes for this episode available. Those of you watching the video at youtube.com/iHeartChiropractic, we'll put a few images on the screen of Dr. Hyacinth in her college years, her Olympic years, and then some current ones of her demonstrating her Flo Fusion program. But those of you who are listening on iTunes, Double Twist, Stitcher, iHeart Radio, other audio directories, make sure you stop by the show notes, and we'll put some pictures on there and her email address and some other references to this episode on the show notes. Those can be found simply by visiting iHeartChiropractic.com, click on podcasts, and then look up episode 11 with Dr. Flora Hyacinth, and you'll be able to check out all the information there. So Dr. Hyacinth is a 2003 graduate from Texas Chiropractic College, magna cum laude, and has relocated to San Diego around just after 2003 and has been here practicing continuously ever since. And we're in 2017 now, so it's been about 14 years she's been practicing. But like I described earlier, she's on her A game. So let's transition into the talk. And in the post-show, I'll look forward to seeing you again. We'll wrap things up after the interview, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, enjoy the interview, and we'll see you momentarily. So, thank you, Dr. Flora, for being here on iHeart Chiropractic. We really, really appreciate you participating and contributing some of your thoughts and ideas. And our goal is to invest in the hearts and minds of the chiropractors out there in the trenches, making a difference each day for themselves and their families and their patients. And so that's what I'd like to do in this episode. I'm really excited to have you here, so thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having me. My pleasure.
There'll be a variety of things I wanted to cover today while I have you here, but some of the things that really stand out to me about you are your incredible levels of fitness as an individual, but also some of your experience that you've had. Exercise and performance have been a big part of your life for quite a while now. I remember you telling me a story from St. Lucia where you were jumping over a fence as a young girl. Would you mind telling that story just a little bit? I mean, you've been in 3 Olympic Games. You've college career, just forget about it. World record and all these different accomplishments. But take us back, if you're willing,
of course,
to your earliest when you were recognized as a born athlete.
Well, the story about the fence, I remember I was probably about 8 years old. And
8?
Yeah.
Wow.
And going to my grandmother's home, and she had a fence around the house. And for some reason, to me, it was too much of a trouble for me to undo the, just undo the latch, open up the gate and walk through. So I'd get a little head start and I'd jump over. And every time if someone caught me, obviously I got in trouble. But years later, after I had retired from competing, I remember my dad said, "If we only knew."
Yeah.
So
you'd just basically take a run and just leap over the fence.
Take a run, just leap over. And I always landed. Never fell, never broke a bone, never chipped a tooth. Always landed.
Yeah.
And then I became a jumper, long and triple jump. So
okay, so long jump, triple jump were your primary.
Those were my primary events. And in college you do a little bit of everything. So I also hurdled in college.
Okay,
did the 100 and 400 hurdles and the relays. But professionally, primarily the long jump. But I also did the triple jump after I graduated as well.
Now, did it take you until college to begin working out on these particular events, or were you doing this through college? Through like high school as well, junior high and high school?
No, I was a late starter.
Okay.
I started my senior. It's a long story, but it worked out where it was my senior year in high school. I started in 1984.
Okay.
The summer of 1984, I graduated in 85 and went off to college, University of Alabama in 85. So really, I had 1 year prior to going to college.
Okay.
But I was fortunate enough to compete at a few competitions within the Caribbean and also stateside. We did the Florida relays, which was where I was recognized by a lot of different colleges, and they started to recruit me, and I ended up at University of Alabama. That's the short story. It's a little longer version to it, but basically,
Okay.
So
look to today, if you will. Okay, you're practicing chiropractic, and you're still healthy. You're still incredibly fit. Can you give us a snapshot of what your fitness program, habits, ritual routines look like today? How do you stay so fit 17 years after retirement?
Oh, good question. I don't like to preach to people, but I do. So one of the things I try to tell them is it's a lot easier to stay in shape if you're already there. It's a lot harder. When you're out of shape, it's a struggle. Or a bigger struggle. Now, I'm not saying that it's not a struggle for those of us who are in shape, because there are times I don't want to wake up and do it, but I do it because I feel better afterwards, for sure. And I also know the benefits of it. I personally, right now, I work out 4 days a week.
Okay.
I work out, it depends on what I'm training for. I will do a 40-minute workout most of the time. And maybe twice a week I will do a longer workout because I'm training for... Can I talk about what I'm training for right now?
Oh, yeah.
American Ninja Warrior.
You know what? I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's continue on the track about what you're doing today. Maybe integrate American Ninja Warrior. Where are you? What was your announcement at your birthday party?
Yeah.
And bring us up to speed.
Okay. So right now I'm training 4 to 5 days a week. It depends on, the day I can work out for 40 minutes, or on the days that I'm training for American Ninja Warrior, because, I'd love to get on that
my God.
Yeah, because last year at my 50th birthday party, I made the huge announcement, the announcement because I had just found out that I had been accepted to compete on the show.
Okay, wait. Which birthday was this?
My 50th.
This is your 50th birthday party.
Last year, yeah.
And you had an announcement. You've been accepted onto American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got to compete on season 8. Obviously didn't do as well as I wanted to.
Okay.
And last year I didn't apply for season 9 because I had 2 herniated discs.
Okay.
And so that's better now. But so now I'm training for season 10. And because of that, I train 4 to 5 days a week.
Okay.
I do run stadium stairs. I do my core workout, which is the Flo Fusion routines. I do a lot of the ninja style training, jumping from, one apparatus to another. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And for me, it's about breaking the monotony, for starters.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people get bored with their routines because they're doing the same things over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So one of the things I try to encourage people to do is, one, find different things to do with your workouts, whether it's yoga or Pilates or Flo
Mixing
Fusion,
it up.
mixing it up. And also have an accountability partner. When you do it on your own, it gets boring.
Yeah.
But when you have someone who can pick up that phone and call you and go, "Hey, Doc, are we on for today?" And Doc says, "No, not today." And then I say, "No, Doc, come on, let's do this." It's a lot easier when you have that person that you can rely on. So
Yeah.
that's the big thing that I try to tell people.
Okay.
But-
Accountability. What program do you like to implement at any given particular workout or throughout the week?
So my workout week starts on a Sunday. So typically what we do early Sunday morning is a couple of my friends and I will go hiking.
Okay.
Just a fun hike. It could be a 2-hour hike. Just enjoy in San Diego.
Okay.
And then we'd go back to the office and we do Flo Fusion for about 40 minutes. And that's a core routine where you're on your back and it's a lot of... it's a total body workout that
Okay.
works the core, the abs, the upper, the lower body, all at the same time.
And we can dive into that in
Right.
some detail in a
Right.
minute, too.
So
you do some Flo Fusion?
Yeah, Flo Fusion. I usually take Mondays off because it's a long day at the office for me.
Okay.
And Tuesday is a long day in terms of a workout. I'll go for a long run. For me, a long run is 10 minutes, but I go for a long run, and then I'll do a hill workout. I might do anywhere from 4 to 6 hills. And, right now what I'm doing is doing 1 minute increments. So the hill that I do right now is a really steep hill. And so I time it. So when the alarm goes off, is it an alarm or when the timer goes off at 1 minute, I stop. So I'll do anywhere from 4 to 6 of that.
Okay.
And then typically I will do some type of a ninja type training.
Okay.
I'll find an obstacle course somewhere where I
Okay.
can go and do some obstacles. Wednesday I do a Flo Fusion workout, and typically that's more of a cardio type of a workout, 40 minutes.
Okay.
And then Thursday is a workout similar to my Tuesday workout, except instead of doing hills, we do stadium stairs.
Stadium stairs. Okay.
And then I'll do a ninja type workout as well. Friday's usually an off day.
Okay.
And then Saturday I'll do a Flo Fusion workout with a ninja workout.
Okay.
And the ninja work, it could be like going to a rock climbing gym and just, rock climbing basically.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it sounds like you're doing a lot of body weight exercise, almost.
Yeah. At my age, I don't go to the gym and do weights. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't. I just don't. I did that for years and years as a professional athlete, and I don't need that anymore. So I use my body weight. I do a lot of pull-ups, a lot of push-ups, a lot of dips.
Okay.
A lot of lunges. I just use my body weight a lot.
Okay.
There are moments when I do use weights, but they're light weights. I'll use 5 pounds or 8 pound dumbbells in my hands when I do, say, the Flo Fusion workout.
So let's use that as a good transition.
Yeah.
Okay. So to summarize what we just covered, though, you have 4 to 5 days a week. You have hiking, push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups, core stuff, hills, stadium stairs. Sounds like you use intervals, like high-intensity interval training, and Flo Fusion, which let's dive into here in a second. So many ways to approach exercise. Yours sounds super creative, very, very practical. It doesn't require a membership anywhere, it sounds like, because you're using stadium stairs, you're using hills, you're using mountains. And
a lot of times, even when we do the ninja training, we use San Diego as our playground. We'll go to, say, the park. And then use the monkey bars. And, you know,
So that's a good point. You know, we don't have to have an expensive membership to get an incredible shape. And you're in the most incredible shape. You're in better shape than anybody I know right now. And you're just using gravity and the town, the city that you're in. Speaking of memberships, I had a patient squeal on her husband. Just a quick story. They had joined an expensive gym in the East San Francisco Bay Area. They had joined 10 years earlier, $100 a month. He'd never stepped foot in the gym after the day they joined.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
They were in banking, they were doing all right, but still, $100 a month for over 10 years, 10, 12 years. And it's like, 10 years. And so I'm just saying, those of you who are listening, who are watching, here's a person, Dr. Flora Hyacinth, one of the healthiest people I know on planet Earth. I don't know if you even keep a membership somewhere, and you don't even have a gym membership. So that's definitely not an excuse. I mean, if you have really no idea where to start, a gym might not be a bad idea, because they do have personal trainers.
They have the structure that you're looking for.
They have structure. They have certain equipment that kind of guides your range of motion, and they have personal trainers if you're just getting going. But if you have any experience with exercise I saw a video of Dr. Fab just on Facebook a week ago. He was running up some stairs, and his whole point, he had a few words to share about, stay active, and you can create a gym wherever you are. So I really appreciate that insight and that perspective. What a great lesson, because everybody thinks we've got to get to the gym. I love the gym, but I also mountain bike. I also hike. I swim whenever I can. I get into the ocean when it's safe to do so. I've also been carried away in a riptide before, but that's another story. So you got to do whatever you're going to do, but do it very safely. But you don't have to have that membership to be staying fit. Let's switch gears
But before you continue, there's something else too that I wanted to say about getting fit and stuff. One of the things that's kind of frustrating for me, and I don't know if you might cut that part out of me saying this, but people will come to me and say, how do I get in shape? And I would talk to them about that, but they want it to happen overnight. And my point to them is, you didn't get out of shape overnight. It's a process. You gotta crawl before you can walk. Baby steps. You gotta have patience with it. It will happen. Most of the time, people want to lose so much weight overnight, and they might do some crazy detox or some crazy cleanse or whatever and lose. No, I'm serious. They may lose 10 pounds in 2 days. Here's your reality. You're gonna gain it right back once you start to eat again. So why not do it the healthy way? Lose a pound and a half to 2 pounds, which is the recommended weight loss per week, rather than try to lose 10 pounds in 2 days. So I just want to encourage people, be patient with it. It will happen. And when you're patient with it and you do it the right way, that weight loss, you'll be able to maintain that weight loss a lot better than if you try to do that quick weight loss.
Sustainable.
Right. Yeah. That's the word.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that.
That's awesome, Doc. And I am definitely not removing that from the interview because that was potent. That was like the juice right there. I mean, our whole society is so right now, instant gratification, microwave, but I'm just saying, like, everything's just so right now. And our bodies don't necessarily understand that. They want to be cared for. Thus, Dan Murphy's innate lifestyle. Thus, the topic of this particular category, as I refer to as the chiropractic wellness lifestyle. The chiropractic wellness lifestyle isn't anything magic. It relates to the innate mechanisms of the human body, the innate intelligence, the innate wisdom, the way our metabolism mixes with our physiology, our endocrine system, protein synthesis after we work out with resistance. How this dance, it's not an overnight thing. Yeah. It's not how, weight gain, weight loss. It's not something that happens as fast as you can download a song or a movie. Yeah. It's something that the body, like the seasons, it takes a year to go through 4 seasons. Yeah. There's summer, there's winter, spring and fall. Like, those aren't going to happen any faster than a year. But somehow when it comes to our bodies, like you just mentioned, it's just so tempting to want instant this, instant that. I have a colleague, I have a patient, a few people I've known are implementing HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. It's an injection and they drop 30 pounds, within, a very short period of time. But their diet's not changing, their habits aren't changing, their lifestyle's not changing, the amount of rest they get is not changing, their stress levels are not changing, their, grocery shopping and diet is usually not changing. And so I personally know somebody who's been through 2 or 3 cycles of HCG. And they're back where they started before the first one. So anyway, I got a little bit going there, Dr. Flora. You fired me up. I hope some other people are getting fired up hearing all this and want to take some steps in the right direction. So thank you for really, really shining a light on that point. I want to touch on Flo Fusion. What is Flo Fusion? How was it born? How did it transpire? And what is it today? And where do you see Flo Fusion going?
Flo Fusion is an exercise program that I created. I started in January of 2008. And it wasn't anything that I got into because I thought I would turn it into a business. I was just at a point where I was bored with my workouts. I had been doing the same things over and over again. And at the time, I was still doing the Olympic lifts that I did when I was an athlete. Well, in 2008, it had been 8 years since I had retired, and I was thinking, why am I still doing, these types of workouts? Not that there's anything wrong with it, I just didn't want to do any Olympic lifts anymore. And I belonged at the time to one of the gyms, and I thought, you know what, let me see if I can find something I can work with. And so I found one of the machines, bought some ankle straps, put them around my ankles, attached myself to the cables, and I'm on my back. And all of a sudden, I'm doing all these movements, and I'm feeling really good. And then after that, I was like, okay, let me try and see how it looks on all fours. And I got on my hands and knees, and still with the cables, and I'm doing more exercises. And then another day, I got on my side, and I thought, wow. And people started to come up to me and ask me about it. They were like, hey, what are you doing? You following somebody's workout? I was like, no, I'm just kind of making things up as I go. And so I decided to introduce it to some of my athletes, and they loved it, and we were getting great results. And I thought, okay, it's awesome to know that athletes are loving it and we are getting results. What about non-athletes or our weekend warriors? And so I decided in 2009 to create a pilot program where I offered free personal training to 5 individuals over the period of 90 days. And so I saw them 3 days a week for 90 days. And I wanted people of all ages and all fitness levels. I wanted people of both sexes. The oldest gentleman came to me at the time, I think he was either 63 or 65, but he was a retired fireman. And I I was hesitant in accepting him because he had suffered with chronic back pain for over 10 years. And I thought, the workouts are a little intense. It might be too much. Even as a chiropractor, I'm thinking that. Although as a chiropractor, I should have said, I should be able to work with that. But because he was the only older person that had came to our meeting, I thought, you know what, if I break something, I'll fix it, right? I'm a chiro. So I accepted him. After the first week, he came up to me and he goes, Doc, I don't know if it's in my head, but my back doesn't hurt. That was after the first week. Fast forward, 90 days into the program, not only did he no longer have back pain, he lost 33 pounds.
Wow.
And I thought, wow.
You're onto something.
I was onto something. So I knew for sure that the workouts were designed for anyone.
Yeah.
But also as a chiropractor, I thought, wow, what a great rehab program for my practice. So that was Flo Fusion in a nutshell.
Flo Fusion was born.
Yeah, it's been 9 years now. And we do have a Flo Fusion Center. We're actually in the process of revamping it. And because right now it's more one-on-one training. And we would like to be able to offer it as a class. So we're in the process of getting that going. Hopefully, within the next 6 months, we will have our first facility.
Awesome work on the program. It's still strong.
Yeah.
It's still changing lives. And also, I'd like to use this as an example to inspire other people. This is something that Dr. Flora, it was born from her own curiosity, her own efforts to improve your own workouts. You're working on your own health and fitness. You're integrating creativity, different equipment in ways that may not traditionally be used. You're creating different things. And here we are with Flo Fusion. So we've talked about quite a few things that can apply to somebody who has some experience already in exercise and fitness. Let's talk for a moment, if you'd be so kind, to that person, that chiropractor is in the trenches and they are not working out. They don't have experience in the gym. They don't have experience with high intensity interval training. They don't run. And maybe they're in trouble. They realize that their body, it's only as strong as the degree that we challenge it. Body can't necessarily get stronger just on its own. The exception with just gravity helps maintain bone density and a few things. But the chiropractor that realizes they're working and seeing patients every day, but they're not doing anything beyond that, can you share what comes to mind when you think about that chiropractor that isn't challenging their body? They're not challenging their cardiovascular well-being. First of all, what thoughts might you have for that chiropractor? Then maybe what steps could they take if they wanted to just begin changing things and turning things around and being more active, being more fit? What message might you have for that chiropractor if you met them?
I think first and foremost, they have to recognize it themselves. I think me coming up to you as a chiro and saying, doc, you need to get in shape type of thing, it might go in one ear or the other. I think you have to recognize it. And so that would be the very first thing. I think the second thing I mentioned earlier is that accountability partner. Having someone, whether it's your spouse or a friend, that you can say, hey, let's, work out together. Whether it's going for a hike. If you don't have someone that you can call on to, I think the next thing would be to get into some type of organized program. Something structured. We mentioned earlier, you don't have to be a member of a gym, but if you're a beginner, that might be something that you might want to think about.
Yeah.
Doing.
Because they do have classes there.
Yeah, they have classes. Yeah. They've got the personal trainers to do the one-on-one training. And at least you don't have to do it forever. You can it could be a great start for you. You have someone to push you, someone to motivate you. Yeah. Do it for a month, 2 months, 3 months. And then if after that point you get to that point where you're like, you know what, I think I can do this on my own, then by all means. But yeah, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last but not least, are there any last thoughts that come to mind? We've talked about a lot today. Anything come to mind you might want to share for that chiropractor in the trenches who happens to be listening to this episode or watching this episode?
Well, you just have to start. I know it sounds cliche to say that, but it begins with that first step. Don't have too high of an expectation. By that I mean, don't expect it to happen overnight. It's about taking those steps, those baby steps that will lead to longer steps and longer steps. And before you know it, you'll be making these strides towards the goals that you set for yourself. I think it's important to set goals. I think so many times we go through life without goals. And so we're on this path and we're like, okay, where am I supposed to go? Left, right, or straight? But how do we choose a path if we don't know what it is that we're going for? Mm-hmm. So I think it's very important to set a goal. So say, for example, your goal is weight loss. Set realistic goals for yourself. Set short-term goals. Set long-term goals. If your short-term goal is to lose 10 pounds in 6 weeks, then let that be your short-term goal. If the long-term goal is to lose 50 pounds in a year, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think so many times we don't set goals, and then we're just kind of moving in and out, and we might lose some, and then we gain it back, we lose some, and so there's no what's the word I'm looking for? Structure. There's no structure. Yeah. So set those goals for yourself. Remember that it didn't happen overnight. You didn't gain the weight overnight, so you're not going to lose it overnight. For my colleagues, I think my colleagues understand the importance of if you want longevity, what we do, our profession is very physical. If you want longevity with your practice, you have to be healthy.
Yeah.
You have to be healthy.
That's key.
So
walk your talk, set an example, lead by example, all that.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Dr. Flora. If there's anything else, let's call it with that. High fives. You are, I know I don't have to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. You are a superstar. You are a legend. I will never forget the day I first saw you at Core San Diego, Matt Hubbard's Core. It was in Mission Valley. I was walking through a hallway. I saw this lady and her arms just bam. And I just stood out and I said, I have to meet this woman, and it was Dr. Flora Hyacinth. That was way back.
That was, I think, 2006.
I moved here in 2006, August 2006. It was in the end of 2006. That's 11 years ago.
Wow, I've known you for a while.
Met Dr. Flora Hyacinth.
Yeah.
You were a legend, and back then you were a legend in my eyes. You are still a legend in my eyes. I love you with all my heart. I appreciate you. Please keep up the great work you're doing for yourself, for your own quality of life, and you are an example to so many people. And so thank you for being here. I look forward to our next episode in the kitchen.
My pleasure, Doc. Thank you.
All right, Doc.
Give me a hug.
Hugs.
Awesome.
All right. And that's a wrap. Okay. Hello again, and welcome back to the post show for episode 11. I hope you were not only able to get some technical information out of our talk today from Dr. Flora regarding maybe how to conduct your workouts, ideas and tips, or even how to structure a workout program throughout the course of the week, but I also hope you're just inspired by the talk in general. We all know chiropractors who at one point or another have had shoulder issues, wrist issues, elbow, low back issues, even knee issues here and there that are affecting their practice. And in those instances, you either have to cancel patients or struggle through the day, have a vacation doc or an associate step in and actually see patients for you. And we all know chiropractors who have been through that. And exercise and maintaining your bone density and your muscle tone and flexibility, as you all know, your body can only have integrity to the degree that you challenge it. So maintaining a workout program is insurance against these injuries occurring as frequently as they would otherwise. Now, working out can be risky too, so that's why it's so important to understand good strategies and approaches, and at all times to maintain good form during your workouts, because you don't want those to set you back and negatively affect your life and your practice. But so thanks again for being here. Again, you can reach Dr. Flora Hyacinth if you have any thoughts or questions for her at Dr. Hyacinth at hyacinthchiro.com by email. That's DrHyacinth at hyacinthchiro.com. And if you have any thoughts or comments for me, I can be emailed at drmills@iheartchiropractic.com. That's DRMILLS at iHeartChiropractic.com. And don't forget there are show notes for this episode at iHeartChiropractic.com. Just click on podcasts and look up episode 11, which is this talk with Dr. Flora Hyacinth. So thanks again for being here. It means a lot to me that you stopped by. We have some great content coming up for you in future episodes 12, 13, 14, and beyond. So thanks for being here. Don't forget in the meantime to adjust. Have a great rest of your day. I love each of you for being here and for doing what you do every day in the trenches. So please keep up the good work. So look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
All information contained in this video blog, audio podcast episode, and on the iHeart Chiropractic website is intended to provide a fun and interactive learning experience. It is not intended to serve as advice with regard to any specific health condition that you may have, but is intended for general health and wellness educational purposes only. This is not a substitute for seeking appropriate care by a doctor of chiropractic or qualified healthcare professional of your choice with respect to a specific condition that you may have. As a recipient of the information from this podcast episode or the iHeart Chiropractic website, you are not establishing a doctor-patient relationship with any chiropractor or physician. There is no replacement for individualized care and advice from your personal chiropractor or qualified healthcare professional of your choice.